did your parents teach you gratitude? By making us disappear for 3 months at a time. You see, in my family, we had something called the ghost rotation, where kids would vanish from existence for 3 months at a time. Not metaphorically, literally erased. I'm talking about siblings walking through you, parents serving dinner to your empty chair, sleeping in the same room while everyone pretends you're not there. We called it building gratitude, and I honestly thought every family did this until I was 11 and mentioned it during show and tell. The teacher's face went white, but by the next day, she acted like I'd never said anything. Later, I learned her son was doing his rotation too. The schedule was strict. Every child took their turn starting at age 5. You'd get a black envelope with your dates. Then on day 1, you stopped existing. The rules were carved into the basement wall. No eye contact, no acknowledgement, no exceptions. Breaking the rules meant joining the ghost immediately. My brother Dale went ghost for 3 months when he was 6 because it was simply his turn. My sister Brandy vanished at age 8 right before her birthday. We celebrated without her while she sat in the corner watching. When your rotation ended, you were grateful, desperate to be seen. We called it being awakened. The family would throw a huge party when you became visible again, showering you with attention. Don't you appreciate being part of the family now? They'd ask. And genuinely, we did. We thought we were ungrateful before, and the isolation taught us our place. I had my first rotation at 5, 3 months of screaming for attention while everyone looked through me. By the end, I was so broken that when mom finally looked at me again, I cried with joy. The system worked perfectly, or so I believed. But my little sister Cheyenne was fragile. She had severe anxiety that we now know needed treatment. But back then, the family just called her weak. She'd have panic attacks, couldn't handle being ignored, and would hurt herself trying to get attention. At age 7, her first rotation began. Within a week, she'd stopped eating. They still wouldn't look at her. By week 3, she was pulling out her hair in clumps, leaving it on their pillows. By month 2, she'd carved words into her arms. Please see me. Nothing. The rules were absolute. Dad even walked through her once when she collapsed in the doorway, stepping on her hand. She screamed. He didn't flinch. When her rotation ended after 3 months, she didn't celebrate. She just sat there, catatonic. They started her second rotation 6 months later, this time during winter. She spent it sleeping outside, banging on windows while we decorated the Christmas tree inside. I watched her lips turn blue through the glass, her ghost breath fogging up the window. Mom hung ornaments right where Cheyenne's face pressed against the pane. When spring came and she was awakened, she wouldn't speak anymore. The third rotation nearly killed her. She was 9, scheduled for summer. By week 2, she'd drunk cleaning supplies trying to get to the hospital where someone might see her. Even the EMTs were trained to ignore ghost children. Dad was police chief and had connections everywhere. They pumped her stomach while staring at the wall above her head, never once looking down at the 9-year-old fighting for her life. Here's the twisted part. We lived in suburban Connecticut the whole time. PTA meetings, block parties, normal everything. My parents explained that other families were just too lazy to teach real gratitude. Spoiled children become spoiled adults, my mother would say at her book club. The other mothers would nod knowingly. I later found out 3 of them had ghost rotations too. Everything shattered when I was 15, and Cheyenne, now 11, had a complete breakdown at school. Her teacher, Mr. Tucker, found her in the supply closet writing "I exist" hundreds of times on her skin with a marker. He gently asked what was wrong, and Cheyenne, in her broken whisper, told him about the ghosts in her house that nobody can see. Mr. Tucker called CPS immediately. When the social worker arrived, my parents were prepared with their speech. She has psychological issues, they explained, vivid imagination mixed with anxiety. But the social worker noticed something odd. The other children wouldn't look at Cheyenne at all. Even when asked direct questions about their sister, she demanded to see Cheyenne's room. The moment she saw the schedule on the wall, every child's name with 3-month blocks marked ghost rotation going back years, she called for backup. The officers arrived within an hour. They took statements, photos, evidence. It seemed like we were finally free. The social worker promised us we'd never be ghosts again. She said she'd personally make sure of it. She gave us her direct number, told us to call if we needed anything. She seemed genuinely horrified. 3 days later, we were back home. Case closed. The lead investigator's daughter, it turns out, was about to start her first rotation next month. He understood the importance of gratitude. My ghost rotation begins tomorrow. Full story on channel, link below.